Okay, we are live.
Okay, hello and welcome back to another episode of the Conspiracy Files with me, Scarlett, and
Dr. Den.
there he is, the man himself, and potentially Matt will be joining us as well.
Brilliant.
So as we've hit, we are currently the 4th of June. I thought it would be a great time to reflect on 2020 so far. We're halfway through the year and it has been a crazy roller coaster of a year.
I think you say that again.
I don't say, for me personally, I don't say roller coaster as in I'm learning all this crazy new stuff. It's been a roller coaster for me, and literally that emoji, mind blown.
Yeah.
You seen the little emoji with the
I have, yeah.
the cloud of smoke coming out of his head? That's been me for 6 months now. Because all these things I've believed my whole life and investigated and been called a conspiracy kid for and been called crazy for are slowly bubbling to the surface and being revealed.
Disclosure. That's what's coming.
So I feel kind of smug just sitting there like,
Yeah, I think a lot of people are now open to the idea that this is probably going to be the year, or if not next year, definitely, where a lot of things come out and the truth is out there.
I mean, it's kind of biblical. The year of revelations.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's prophesied somewhere in the Bible. Maybe they got the Mayan calendar wrong. Maybe 2012 wasn't the year the world was going to end.
Maybe it's 2021.
Maybe it's 2021.
Turn
There's
the
one
numbers
for you.
around.
Exactly.
2 and 1, 3.
So,
3. Oh, God,
yeah,
here we go.
a lot of people are starting to question the sort of status quo, what's going on in the world. Even
Yeah.
my granddad, he's 89. He's voted Conservative his whole life, and even he's starting to question definitely government and politics, and just things not quite adding up in the world.
Yeah, I think politically the world has gone mad this year.
Yeah.
I think everything that everybody in the world, governments, people like you and I, normal people as well, everything we had planned this year has gone out the window because the coronavirus has taken over. I mean, it doesn't matter what you do, listen to the news, radio, TV, it's coronavirus. It's taken over.
Until
it's
this
almost
week.
like an apocalypse. Yeah.
It is. Until this week.
Yeah.
Which then something else is taken over. But we'll go through what we'll do is we'll go through the timeline.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, if you can cast your mind back to January the 2nd. So
Was that
just
before
welcome.
yesterday?
No.
You know what my memory's like.
So I'll remind you, January the 2nd, we'd come into the new year. I'm sure everyone had a few drinks, maybe still nursing a hangover. And then we learn the news that Australia is literally on fire.
Yes. Forgot about that.
Yeah. So that's how we started the year. Australia, I'm not laughing, wasn't funny, but it just, in a dark sense, that's how the year started, on fire.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Matthew. Thank you for joining
Matt.
us.
No worries. Pleasure as always.
So you joined us just in time. We were just reflecting on the year that we had. We're halfway through the year already, believe it or not, and it's been crazy. So we just wanted to sort of review the year so far and then maybe make some predictions of what is going to happen for the next 6 months. All right, so we just started, if you can cast your mind back to January the 2nd, so the beginning of the year, we had the Australian bushfires. So this is how we started the year. The year literally started on fire.
You're listening to Dr. Den Does on Black Fox Radio with your host, Dr. Den.
I
So-
do remember that, yeah.
I forgot
Yeah.
about that.
So you saw all of those pictures of the koalas, like literally being burnt to death, and loads of people lost their houses and stuff. And I think that is the worst bushfire Australia's ever had.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
So
but
some people said, go on, Deb.
I think there was fires in America as well at the time, but they were on a smaller scale.
They had, I'm not sure if it was at the beginning of 2020. I know it started in, like, December time, but also the Amazon was on fire as well, wasn't it? Just before Australia.
Gosh.
Yes,
If
it
you
was.
remember
That's
that, yeah.
correct.
Yes, it was.
Amazon was on fire.
So the whole world was on fire.
The whole world was literally on fire.
Oh, right, it's the apocalypse.
So yeah, I mean, it is kind of biblical, really. And I kind of thought like the end of the world. So the world's literally. So some people think they were caused deliberately, but others debate that it's like a cause of climate, global temperature rising and climate change.
Okay.
So that was the first thing. Then we had also January 2nd. The Iranian general killed in an airstrike.
Oh, I forgot about that, yeah.
Yeah.
By the US, which I thought would cause a bigger repercussion than it did.
Yeah, it almost went unnoticed, didn't it?
And it has been sort of forgotten about with everything else that's happened.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a scheme happening, a plot, but let's hope not.
Yeah.
Okay, so the big one, January 7th, the World Health Organization is notified of the novel coronavirus, then known as 2019 COV in China. So that was January the 7th.
Right.
And you know what, if I'm being honest, I heard about this virus and we were actually joking around at the time because a friend of mine was in the Philippines and she was partying with loads of people from Wuhan.
Oh, that's right. You told me that when it was in the office.
When it was happening, because it was the Chinese New Year, so a lot of the younger people went travelling to celebrate their New Year.
Wow.
The Chinese New Year. So she was partying with a load of people from Wuhan, and we were laughing, saying, "Oh, don't come back to England."
Yeah.
And yeah, I kind of was naive and thinking it was one of those things that would just sort of stay in China.
Right.
Mm.
But,
I think, yeah, I mean...
But here we are, I mean...
Yeah.
That didn't happen.
When I first heard about it and took notice of it, I thought that it wasn't going to come out of the east. I didn't think it would spread the way it has.
No.
And being an island, for some crazy idea, I thought, well, that's it, we're not going to get it here. And of course... flights, boats coming in from Europe and the rest of the world. It was obvious at that point that the whole world was going to suffer this.
Yeah. Well, it was when it hit like Italy and Spain, and you thought, okay, it's spreading across Europe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But I am still kind of baffled as to why Italy was hit so bad.
I think it was because of the skiing.
Oh, okay.
So
because at that time of year, everybody goes skiing. So I think, especially the Chinese themselves, they like a bit of skiing.
Right.
Apparently, and the Japanese as well, they like a bit of skiing. And I think they all just pulled into Italy, which is where the best ski slopes are.
Oh, I see. Yeah, in the Alps. Yeah.
Yeah, and they just all pulled in there, and it just spread like wildfire. And that's why they got hit so bad, because it was all round the skiing resorts.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And then those people all went home. My friends came back to England after partying with... Yeah.
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 I mean, it was back... yeah. So it's not really a shock now.
No.
And I suppose we just sort of got used to it now. Everyone's just like living it.
Yeah, the problem is we've become complacent, haven't we?
Oh, we have, yeah.
We're just like, it's...
I'm going to disagree. I haven't.
I still go out with my mask and my gloves.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I keep my social distancing, but every time I go out, people break that rule. You know,
Yeah.
I
I
go to
couldn't tell you.
Tesco's and there's people leaning over me to get things. They're breathing down my neck. I did have an incident in Tesco's that we won't talk too much about, where I had to have a very, very serious word in somebody's ear.
Oh.
Because he was just a complete, how should we say, posterior orifice. That's the best way to put it.
Brilliant.
But yeah, I mean, it was just like, what's the matter with these people? Why aren't they abiding by the rules? And I think it's because complacency is set in. It's been going on for so long now, and people are saying, oh, well, you know, I haven't got it, I'm not going to get it now.
Yeah.
And that's when the that's when it becomes dangerous.
Definitely.
I think that's reflective of the whole world. It's that us and them mentality.
Yep, absolutely.
I'm different. I'm not going to get this. I'm, protected. No one in my family's vulnerable, so
Yeah,
that's just the way we've been brought. We've just been bred as a society,
yeah,
and it's quite sad, actually.
yeah.
So coronavirus is sort of a running theme throughout all of this, because it is the most. I would say the most significant thing that's happened this year.
Oh,
I think
definitely.
Probably
it's the most
this
significant
decade.
thing I was going to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's crazy. It's mental. No one. If you were in an interview and they said, "Where do you see yourself in 5 years?" Not one person would have said where we are right now.
No. Unless you're Nostradamus.
Yeah, people do say
Yeah.
predicted it.
Yep.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
2020, a plague ravaged Europe or
world.
whatever.
Yeah.
And, like, Italy got affected or whatever. He mentioned about Italy in it, didn't he?
He did,
And all
yeah.
that. Mm.
No way.
Yep.
Yep.
And he actually said 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Sorry, my phone's ringing again.
I could hear it.
So-
Nostradamus calling you up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So
So you
before,
get it right.
sorry, I've just got to take this.
That's all right. Me
If
and
you
Matt
could
can
explain
worries.
to Matt about the Mayans, our
The
potential
Mayans.
theory.
Oh yeah, the Mayans. You know about the Mayans, don't you? Matt?
Yeah, the 2012 prediction that they did.
Yeah, their
wasn't it?
2012 prediction. I was just saying to Scarlett, I think 20. This is going to be the year, or next year will be the year when there's a lot of disclosure. Things come out that have been hidden for years.
Oh.
But the thing is, I think the Mayan calendar, like Scarlett said, got it the last two digits the wrong way round. Instead of 2012, it should have been 2021.
Yeah, should have been, shouldn't it?
And that's what I'm thinking. It's purely a guess. There's no way of saying that's true.
Oh, yeah, of course so.
That's my thinking. You know, it could be that they got the last two digits wrong. Listen, there are things that we decode and we talk about and we write things down, and then 5 years later it's disproved, and something else comes along, and then the following year something else comes along and disproves that theory. So we never really know.
Exactly. Thing with the Mayans is I don't actually believe in the calendar theory.
You don't.
And that is because of one reason.
Go on.
Because people say, oh, it ended in, it says the calendar ran out on 2012, whereas you're saying, like yourself, then, that it could be 2021.
Yeah.
I just think they got bored. Like, wouldn't you get
Really?
bored by... Yeah, because, like, you can't keep stuff going forever. Like, there's going to be a point that we're going, right, I had enough at doing all this, I'm just going to leave it here. Because you think about it, because they're not going to do it forever and ever and ever. I just think they got bored and decided to leave it as that. Like, I don't think there's any prophecy or truth behind it. They just...
You're listening to the Conspiracy Files with me, Dr. Den, and our guests, Scarlett Scully Squire and Matt Spooky Webster.
got
I'm
fed up and
back.
did
Sorry
something
about
else.
that.
That's okay.
Welcome back, Scarlett.
What did I miss?
Nothing, we were just talking about the Mayan calendar and how it may have been misinterpreted.
That's it. Yeah.
So,
Cool. Should we move on?
yeah, absolutely.
We're still in
Yeah.
January, mind.
Yeah, I know.
We're still in January. So, January 8th, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle announced they're stepping down from their duties as senior royals.
I forgot about that, yeah.
Yeah.
See, this I didn't think was very significant at the time. However, with the revelations that have been coming out recently,
Which are...
this is very significant.
Go on.
So
Okay.
the whole scandal with Prince Andrew visiting Epstein's Island, which is renowned, as we know, for
Yep. Paedophilia and...
paedophilia and underage people and
Yep.
potentially
It's not
trafficking.
nice stuff.
Yep.
Sex for not nice stuff at all. So that's his... Is that his uncle? Prince Andrew. So that all
Yes,
came
it is,
out.
yeah.
Anonymous have made an appearance, have made a sort of reappearance this week.
Oh,
After
yeah.
3 years of silence, Anonymous are back, and they are back with a boom. I've been on the edge of my seat watching, like literally watching the Twitter feed unfold.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So Anonymous have come out and said that the reason Princess Diana was killed was because she had a tape that had evidence of someone in Buckingham Palace committing a rape against a member of staff that was working in the palace.
Oh.
She had a tape that had the witness statement on it.
Right. Okay.
And now, yeah. Like,
Has that been confirmed?
whoa. No one can confirm it because the tape was given to someone else. Someone she was close to
But they
has
don't
the
know
tape,
who, right?
supposedly. I think people can guess who, because she had a few people that she was close to. One theory is it's her sister
Right.
has the tape, and there's another guy who I think was sort of her, sort of like butler / PA person.
Yeah, I know
He's
the
really
guy you
famous,
mean.
but I can't remember his name. You know who I mean?
I know exactly who you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people think it was him.
Yeah.
He's
well,
got the tape. Someone has the tape.
Allegedly,
Allegedly.
that guy allegedly was on a private dating site, sending nude photographs of his appendage, shall we say, and sending it to a lot of people, male and female.
Maybe it was him.
Don't know. It's weird. Allegedly.
So, yeah, allegedly. All of this stuff is allegedly. Anonymous, if you're familiar with Anonymous, they are a group of hackers, computer hackers, who have... they come in a time of need, I feel like.
Definitely.
And they reveal stuff when it's needed. So, yeah, this is the...
Okay.
They're good hackers.
They're good hackers. They have no leader. They're all for the people. They don't see race, colour, gender. They're just there to release the truth, is their words. So Harry and Meghan stepping down, I thought, this is not significant. But in interviews, there's one interview in particular of Harry when he is basically saying the press is ruining our lives.
Yes.
Look at what they did to my mother. They hounded the poor woman and then ended up killing her. Because everyone knows the story that was released was she was chased by paparazzi.
Yep.
So the press essentially killed her. I think otherwise,
Okay.
but...
So do I. I think it was just a genuine accident. I think the driver was so drunk. He just lost control of the car at high speed in the tunnel. His vision was blurred.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I mean,
Do you?
I think, yeah, absolutely. That's what happened. I'm convinced of it. And a lot of investigation has gone into that death. And 99% of it now... 99% of the people who investigated it now agree that the driver was so drunk that he should never have been behind the wheel. And he caused the accident. It wasn't the paparazzi. They were in pursuit, yeah, absolutely, as they were every time they went out. But if he hadn't been drunk, it wouldn't have happened. Now, because he was on the payroll of Al Fayed, they tried to keep it quiet and they tried to blame everybody else other than the driver.
Oh, I see.
Because the family could have sued him. I mean, he's got tons of money, Al Fayed. We don't know
He is
what
the
the
Saudi
Spencers did.
prince, isn't he?
No, he's the guy who owns Harrods.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, because Dodi
Wow.
Fayed is his son. So he owns
Yeah.
Harrods, and that's where they were. They were coming out of the hotel there within Harrods.
And she was
as far as I know.
supposedly having an affair with him.
Yeah, he was. She was. It's open. That was, that's the way it was. But the thing is, the guy's got so much money. We don't know how much money he paid the Spencers in compensation.
Right. It's very interesting.
But they tried to divert the blame from the driver purely because he was one of Al-Fayed's men, not one of. I mean, she literally lost her protection when she left Prince Charles.
Yeah.
Well, definitely.
The royal guards were like, "That's it, you're on your own now." Had they been there, that would never have happened.
And I think
they wouldn't
that's.
have let him drive the car.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. I don't know why she got in, but then things happen, don't they?
Yeah.
She obviously trusted that driver.
Yeah, he was their regular driver.
But Harry must have seen this similar things happening with his wife. There's clear distinction of the way they speak about Meghan and the way they speak about Kate.
Absolutely.
It's actually disgusting.
Yeah.
So he's taken him away, and for good reason. And the things that have come out recently with Epstein, Harvey Weinstein, I'm sure Prince Harry knows more than he would probably like to.
Yep.
And he just doesn't want to be a part of it. Fair enough. Good on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good on him.
It's a brave man to walk away from the royal family.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It is. But he's done
His
it
uncle
publicly,
did
so
it,
they
so-
can't.
His great uncle did it. Yeah.
So we're only still in January, so I'm going to skip forward a bit. We're on January 11th. China records its first coronavirus death.
Ooh,
So
yeah.
that was the first recorded death, but there was obviously a scandal behind that as well.
Right.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
The impeachment trial for Donald Trump begins.
Oh, yeah.
Where else are we?
That didn't
Which
go
he
very
got out
well,
of.
did it?
Yeah. I mean, he should have been convicted.
No.
To be honest, and thrown out. There's a lot of stuff going around, and it depends on which camp you're in, whether you're Republican or Democrat. I've been watching a video recently that you sent me, Scarlett, and that is definitely a Republican video,
Yeah.
without a doubt.
It's just a shame that they only have two parties to choose from.
Yes.
Because I'm sure there's a lot of people. That's really unfair. I'm sure there's a lot of people that.
Wait, so they're only allowed to choose from two?
Yeah.
I think unless you've got enough money to actually create your own political party and then fund the campaign.
Yeah, it's not
That's
like
not
here
good.
where you can just go up as an independent. You can't do that
exactly,
in
yeah.
the States. Which is a shame, because I think if the right person came along, they'd probably walk
definitely.
it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Anyway, sorry,
well,
Scarlett.
talking about UK politics, January 31st, the UK withdraws from the European Union.
At
Yeehaw.
last.
So,
Finally.
Yeah.
so that's, that was done. We spent 3 years hearing that blimmin' word, Brexit. I'm so bored of hearing that word, and now we haven't heard it uttered. We sort of snuck out, and then, it's done.
Well, it's not done yet, but it'll all start coming to the fore again in 2 or 3 months. You watch. Because the deals have got to be struck yet. At the moment, we left the EU, but now we've got to do the deals with the trade. And that's where it's going to get really...
Oh, do you know what I saw today?
Really nasty.
Jamie Oliver has written a public letter to Boris Johnson about the agricultural bill.
Right.
Because he's worried that, especially after coronavirus, a lot of farmers are suffering at the minute.
Yeah, of course now.
And I've been worried about this for ages, and one of the reasons I didn't want to leave the EU was because I don't want America to swoop in and start trading with us, because their standards are not our standards.
No, but our standards are standards, and we don't have to take it if it doesn't reach our standards.
Exactly.
I think this is where people get confused. They say, well, America's standards are not up to ours. Well, if it's not, we don't take it. We get it from somewhere else.
But there's so much underhand stuff going on, and I feel like if it's a cheaper deal, then we'll take it at the minute, because we're in a crisis.
I'm not
That's
so
what I'm
sure that's
worried
going to
about.
work. The whole world is in crisis at the moment, so
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
any deal that's done at the moment will not be thinking about now. It'll be thinking about the future.
Well, that's kind of what Jamie Oliver's saying. He's saying we've worked so hard to, help manufacture things in Britain and to trade within our own country. I think he said still only 13% of veg is produced in the UK. Most of it's
That's right.
imported.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And 53% of meat. And he said, our kids don't deserve to be eating bleached chicken,
No.
cat beef stuffed with corn.
Yeah.
It's not healthy. So he's just saying, please, like, make the right choice.
But sitting on my political fence now, I think the government now, whoever's in the future, needs to support the farmers more, and we need to buy British.
Of
If
course.
you buy meat, if you buy meat, buy British. If you buy vegetables, get them from local farms, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
That's what we do, because we literally got a farm right across our house in this little farm shop. So
And I think if the whole country did that, we wouldn't have these issues.
Yeah.
The demand would be great. Whether we could actually meet that demand is another issue. We hear about the butter mountains, where we got tons and tons of butter that's just thrown away every year because we're overproducing it. Well, let's not overproduce it. I've never understood that.
Exactly.
Get what you need.
But the thing is, this was all because we were in the European Union and we could only use X amount where we had to buy X amount.
Yeah.
We're out of that now. So we can just get our guys here to supply for the demand. And if we
we've
can't,
got
then we
enough.
need to think of, somewhere else. But
Import these lovely exotic fruits and stuff.
Yeah.
But we've got the basis in England to produce pretty much whatever we want, especially with greenhouses.
Absolutely.
I don't see why we need to be importing it from other countries.
Yeah.
When I lived in London, it was a lot easier to, they've got all these lovely, fabulous markets where you have a bowl of... I couldn't remember. I said, how much for the broccoli? He said, the whole bowl's £1.
Yeah.
I was like, what, really? Bought so much veg,
cheap.
couldn't eat it all. It's so cheap.
Yeah. It is. The other thing is, it's like, I always used to remember Christmas meant several things. One, it was tangerines. Tangerines used to come in at Christmas. You guys won't remember this, but we never had them before that. Dates were a Christmas thing, because that's when they would ripen abroad and that's when they would come in. So you'd have all these really nice fruits coming in at a certain time of year, which was Christmas. I mean, that's why a lot of kids always used to get an apple and a tangerine in their stockings at Christmas, because they were a treat, literally. So, we used to get those a certain time of year. But now, every day we get imports of these fruits from around the world. Well, we can now actually grow those fruits here. These exotic fruits. Because we got huge greenhouses. We know how to heat them. We know how to grow these fruits. So, we'd be fine. I've just planted, funny enough, this week, 2 grapevines.
Oh.
I had a grapevine before when I lived in Hertfordshire, and it got out of control. It took over the whole garden and nearly the whole of Hertfordshire. But that used to produce about 200 bunches of grapes at a time.
Whoa.
You couldn't eat them all. And I used to make wine with most of them.
I was going to say, when's Den's home brewery opening up?
Exactly. So
The
what I thought was
vineyard.
I'll plant a black grape, white grape, and go from there and see what's going on. And see if I can't grow some more. But, yeah,
Den's moonshine.
Yeah, something like that. Anyway,
Can't wait.
I'm dragging this out, and I should...
I think, I'll just say on that point, I think if there's one good thing that's come out from lockdown, it is that, and the coronavirus, pandemic, is that sort of crash back to reality of people and consumerism and not being able to have what you want all the time.
Yeah.
You do have to wait. Because now, I've been guilty of it. Oh, I fancy a drink. Well, I don't fancy a drink if I have to queue up for an hour to get it.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Just shows you don't really need it. I think we should go back to this. We should be a bit more appreciative of what we have, what we can grow, and just not take all the time.
Yeah.
You know, Amazon. Oh, I've got to wait 5 days. Well, we used to have to wait 2 weeks if you ordered something online.
Yeah, that's the best.
And then when you got it, you were like, woohoo!
This coronavirus.
Oh, yeah.
Sort of, he's a multi-billionaire. He's the richest man in the world now.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But anyway.
So, talking about rich, on the subject of rich white guys.
The royals.
We had Prince Harry. We then had, on February 24th, Harvey Weinstein is found guilty of third-degree rape and first-degree criminal sex act.
Right.
And that is something that is, like, unheard of.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel there's a trend, not a trend, you know, they say maybe things happened in threes. These powerful, rich white guys who thought they were untouchable are being brought down.
Yep.
And it's great.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Good.
Absolutely.
No one is safe. And people who have thought they can get away with literal murder probably are being told they can't.
Yeah.
I
mean, people like him, well, you know, you're not going to be in any films unless I decide you are.
Yeah.
And the only way you're going to do that is follow me to the boudoir.
Yeah.
You know? Which is wrong.
know,
It's not
like...
the way to do it. It's the casting couch scenario, isn't it?
But it's so outdated and it's so old-fashioned, and it's you know, and I hate the argument of, oh well, you know, if Harvey Weinstein invited you to his room at 4 a.m, what did you think was going to happen? It's like, no.
Yeah.
That's wrong, because he probably wouldn't have invited you. His PA would have invited you.
Absolutely.
And no, that's not an excuse for something to happen.
No, it's just
That's
Definitely
total
not.
abuse of power.
Yep.
The second thing after that was Epstein. The more you look into Jeffrey Epstein and his crimes, it is just unreal.
That is scary.
But
That is really scary.
My theory on both Harvey Weinstein and Jeffrey Epstein is that when they were arrested, they gave names. They gave their little black books over of all of their associates and everyone else involved in this sort of weird elite trafficking ring. That's my theory.
I think you're right. I think they've probably got a list of names that we haven't even scratched the surface of yet.
Well,
More than likely, yeah.
The other thing Anonymous released this week was some papers that that detail court hearing that was against Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump.
Right.
Because they were good mates.
They were, yeah.
And originally I thought it was one of those things, oh, he visited the island, got a snap with, you know, Jeffrey's like, oh, let's have a snap, Donald.
Yeah.
You're the guy. But actually it turns out they were very, very close. And Anonymous have come out and said that Trump actually had Epstein killed because of the dirt he's got on Trump.
Oh.
But it hasn't worked because it's been released anyway.
Yeah.
And there's you can find them online. They keep getting deleted off Twitter, but I've got them saved on my phone. Oh, yeah, probably shouldn't have said that. If I go missing, then they've taken me.
I will go over to Trump and give him a good kicking if he does that to you. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So it's not a good time for Trump. It hasn't been, but this has been released and it's been circulating the internet. So there's 2 documents. One of them that is about a court case, and there's another document that involved a young child. There's another document that has a list of settlements Donald Trump has paid out to parents who, similar scenario.
Really?
Yeah, I'll send it to you. And there's another one, I'm not sure if this one is to how legit it is, but Anonymous also released Jeffrey Epstein's black book of everyone that visited his island.
Ooh.
And there's some real famous names in there.
I bet they are.
Mhm.
Have you got that list as well?
Yeah.
Send it to me.
I'll send it to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. This is what I mean.
This
People
is crazy.
Of
who
course it is.
called me a conspiracy theorist my whole life, called me crazy for thinking that the world is ran by a global elite of paedophiles and psychopaths.
Yeah.
That's what I believe.
Yep.
And that's what the basis of everything I believe it comes from. And now these little things are coming out. People are asking more and more questions. They're asking me loads of questions. And I'm like, it's, you have to sort of be a psychopath, sociopath to want to run the world in the first place.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
And along with that comes just these weird, traits and the obsession with ultimate power. Think of Aladdin. You remember Aladdin?
Yeah, what's he
That film with Jafar.
Oh, yeah, Jafar.
Just how crazy he was for power. So there's a list of names on there.
Right.
And I believe that they were handed over, and that's why Harvey Weinstein got a lesser sentence. I mean, 23 years for the crimes he did is not very long at all. Some people in America get more for having a little bit of drugs on them.
Yeah.
So that's suspicious. And then Jeffrey Epstein suspiciously commits suicide in a cell, which is kind of been proven to be impossible.
There was no footage of that, though, was there? Like, there's no CCTV, as I remember.
No CCTV. The guards were apparently asleep.
Yeah,
even though they were on.
Seems fake to me, definitely.
But
he's dead, but.
But the way in which he supposedly committed suicide has been seen a number of times. It was like a specific knot that was done and tied to a door handle, and that's got links to the CIA.
Oh.
It's been noted a few times of people who have spoken out or tried to whistleblow about the CIA. That's their fate.
Right.
So much information. I told you, I'm like the emoji with its head, the cloud of smoke coming out of its head. I haven't been able to sleep for weeks because my head is just bubbling with all of this stuff that I've seen.
Yeah, the problem
That's
is
good.
you see something and then you go and check it out and then you find something else.
That's it. And you go
just
down
keep
the
building
wormhole.
up. Yeah, absolutely. Go down the wormhole and then you're lost because there's so much stuff going on that shouldn't be. You just all of a sudden think this is crazy.
And then it all kind of links together as well.
Yep. Absolutely.
So, yeah.
It's scary.
It's really scary.
Very.
And I'm sure... I've mentioned names before. I can't say that this is the truth. But there is an elite group of people who are very interconnected with each other.
Right.
And the scary thing is these people are responsible for huge organisations that affect the public.
Okay.
Simpsons. I really need to watch that episode with Trump. Because once again, the Simpsons have predicted certain things.
Yeah. They predict a lot.
So we haven't got long left. We're only in March. So I'm just going to say March, the WHO declared the coronavirus as a pandemic.
Right.
Okay?
Bit late.
And then...
Yeah, a little bit.
Way too late. Let me move forward. Coronavirus kind of blocked up the news for like 2 months, I'd say. 3 months.
Quite a while, yeah.
April the 2nd, global coronavirus cases surpassed 1 million.
Right.
Where are we? Bernie Sanders is all American. Can you think of anything? Okay, so this timeline I was looking at finishes on April the 9th.
Right.
And that says the state of New York alone has had the highest number of corona cases.
Yeah. I mean, we've lost so many people. I mean, I've got a list here. You might find this interesting, actually. Dave Greenfield, The Stranglers, Terence McNally, the playwright, Alan DeVoe, the cinema photographer, Tim Brooke Taylor, the comedian, and Eddie Large, the comedian, all died of coronavirus. So that's just a few. There's a list as long as you're on.
So many more.
But the other people we've lost each year, which is a shame, because a lot of people, this happens at the end of the year, doesn't it? You get a list of people who have died. We've lost Michael Angelis, or Angeles, who's the guy who was the voice of Thomas the Tank.
Oh, right.
Oh, the coronavirus, was it?
No, it wasn't coronavirus. None of the list that I'm giving you now are, but they're just like losses that I think are, well, they're part of me. They're part of the people I knew.
Oh, yeah.
Little Richard, Rashi Kapoor, the actor, Jill Gascoigne, the actress, Lynn Folds Wood, Brian Dennehy, the actor, Sir Sterling Moss. I mean, that was a terrible thing. I mean, yeah, I'm into motor racing, so Honor Blackman, Bill Withers, Kenny Rogers, Roy Hudd, Michelle Roux, Caroline Flack, Kurt Douglas, Nicholas Parsons, Terry Jones, Derek Folds, Neil Peart, the drummer, and Derek Acora.
And Derek Acora?
Yeah, he died. Yeah, he's
No
gone.
way.
Yeah, he's gone.
Oh, right. When was that?
I don't know. I mean, it's maybe that he's not really gone because he may come back as a ghost and appear on one of his own programs, where it was later proved that he actually wasn't a psychic at all. They used to give him a list of places they were going to visit, so he would go there, check them all out, do research on it, and then study it for a week before he actually went on there to go and investigate it.
Oh, that's brilliant.
So, yeah, I mean, if he's up there now, Derek, I'm going to be researching ghosts soon.
Yeah, give us a sign.
Give us a call.
Give us a sign.
So, yeah,
That is brilliant.
this year we've lost quite a few important people that affected my life over the years in one way or another. So it's quite sad to see some of these people go.
And I wonder how many was due to coronavirus or just old age.
Well, like I said, there's 6 on my list that died of coronavirus, and that's just a small percentage. I picked the ones that I knew and were relevant to me. I didn't pick the whole thing because otherwise we'd be here for 2 hours just reading names.
You missed off Kobe Bryant as well, who was the NBA player for...
Oh, yeah.
Kobe Bryant, he
Kobe
died of corona, yep.
No, he died in a plane.
Oh, no, he died in a plane crash, didn't he? Sorry, yeah.
Tragic crash, yeah.
Yeah, and then there was the guy from... Was that last year? I can't remember. Yeah, it was last year, it's alright. Brain gone.
So, Lord Bath died as well from coronavirus. Did he? Yeah, from Longleat.
When did he go?
A couple of months ago, which is quite sad.
Wow. That's interesting.
I
used to love Longleat. Anyway.
Yeah, so did I, yeah.
So, yeah, quite a lot's happened up till April. So we still got May and June to go, Scarlett.
April. So April, so I wouldn't say much happened in terms of public because we were just we were indoors, weren't we?
Yeah, I think so.
So, just a lot of Zoom calls and, that's it.
Yeah.
Home workouts.
Yeah. I mean, this year has changed a lot of the way a lot of people think about their futures and how it's going to affect. I mean, when this is all over, this is going to affect us for years and years on end.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, we know as a college that our teaching methods have got to change for September.
Yep.
The way we're going to do things is going to be completely different.
Mhm.
The question is, are we ever going to go back to being normal, or are we going to retain all these measures in some way, shape or form?
I think normal, what is considered normal is having a massive transformation at the minute.
Yeah.
Because things that we have considered normal and put up with for years and years and years actually are not normal. They're not okay.
No, absolutely not.
It's what's happening now.
Oh yeah, definitely.
In America and in England.
Yep.
It's not okay. This abuse of power, these people thinking it's one rule for them, one rule for other people. No. We're all supposed to be one. What's he called? Dominic Cummings. The cheek of it.
Oh, that.
The cheek.
Yeah.
To sit there with a smirk, reading your events off a bit of paper. It's just...
Yeah, listen, I think if you went through the politicians in this country, you'll find that probably 75% of them have been out and done things they shouldn't have done.
Oh, definitely.
You
Yeah.
They can get away with it,
it's,
don't they?
It's nature. It's just the way it is. I mean, I went to go and have a look at a car with my son last week. Shouldn't have done it, but I did.
Mm.
Why shouldn't you have done it?
Well, because of the
If
social
you're
distancing.
2 metres apart, the rules are so wishy-washy.
Oh, they're
Yeah, but
changing
there
all
was
the
three-
time, aren't
there was
they?
three of
Changing
us-
them all the time.
3 of us in a car. You can't stay 2 metres away from somebody in a car with 3 people in
Did
it.
you have masks on? Did you have gloves on? Did you have coronavirus? Because
No,
Donald
none of us
Cummings
had
thought he
coronavirus.
did, and he travelled halfway across the country. So
Yeah, I think
Why
it's
do we go
slightly
to
different
Durham,
in
though?
that case. But, you know, the guy we met, we didn't know anything about him, the guy who was selling the car or his family. But the strange thing is, when we got to his place, it was in Sheffield, funny enough. We got to Sheffield to his house where the car was, and all the kids in that street were playing together.
yeah.
Every single one of them.
I have a good friend in Sheffield, and he says it's been a nightmare. Like, apparently on VE Day, half the people down the street were out having hot dogs and chatting, and he
Yep.
said it was awful.
But
Yeah.
but now they've been sent to school. So what's the difference between kids playing in the street to them being in the
Exactly.
classroom?
Yeah,
What's the
absolutely.
difference?
That's
listen,
what-
it's the
Oh,
way
go
it
on,
is,
Dan.
but I don't know. I just, I'm just still going to keep my 6 foot stick with me and poke people if they come too close. Simple as that.
Also,
Yeah.
another thing, Scarlett, which I think happened in April, not happened this year, but that volcano in Australia or New Zealand,
Oh
where
yeah.
those people were trapped
Yeah.
on the island.
Yes.
And the tourists were all trapped
Yeah.
there. I think
Yeah, I
that
forgot about
that was
that.
Indonesia.
Yeah, somewhere near there, wasn't it?
Forgot about that. Apparently, there's swarms of locusts in East Africa as well.
Yeah.
I mean, this is definitely written down somewhere,
Yeah, this is
and it's happened before.
this is apocalyptic stuff, isn't it? Let's be
Yeah.
honest.
Just going through my Twitter timeline, the royal family's decided the Duke of York will retire from public life over his Jeffrey Epstein links.
Yep.
So he's gone. They can't be
Yep.
saying, we can't protect you. What was the other significant thing? Oh, of course, George Floyd being killed.
Yes.
That happened last week?
Yeah.
Yep. And now we
last
got
week.
the biggest riots in America they've seen for a long time
Ever.
on
Yeah,
protests, haven't they?
definitely.
Yeah. It's
I think
huge.
that's going to last at least another couple of weeks,
definitely.
that thing.
It has to, because the thing is, this happened I remember this happening in 2015 when the Black Lives Matter movement started.
Yeah.
Everyone was saying, Black Lives Matter. Something's got to change. And the only thing that's changed is that people have camera phones now
Yeah.
and they film
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, I
Because
was
I mean-
watching a video just before we came on air of a 12-year-old girl being punched in the face by a cop because she was
think I've seen that.
resisting arrest. You know, and it's sort of like,
It's
what?
terrible.
And he was punching her in the chest and everything, and I thought, God, if I'd have been there, mate, you'd have been in serious trouble.
Oh,
It's
definitely.
disgusting. My friend, he works for Met Police London, and he says the first thing you're trained, you're taught when you're arresting someone is you don't leave someone on their chest because they can't breathe.
That's right.
They're on their
Exactly.
chest, let alone put a kneel on their
neck.
kneel on their. So it's turned out how he actually died was from asphyxiation because
Yeah.
Yes.
he was kneeling on the
Esophagus.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
His
that's in
windpipe,
plain.
basically.
It's in plain
Does-
sight. It's
Horrible.
It made me cry. I couldn't watch the whole thing because it's just. And a few weeks before that, there was an innocent man jogging. These 2 men pull up in a truck, jump out, start wrestling with him, and then shoot him dead.
And
2
it's horrible.
ex-cops who
Why?
thought, why? You tell me why? Because of the colour of his skin, I believe.
There's also
right.
They
that.
thought he'd been involved in a burglary, but there's no proof, and they're not
Hmm.
even on duty. So who is it? It's not your right to.
Exactly. Hope they got arrested, didn't they? Hope they did.
They did, but it's only
Good.
because someone caught the footage on their dash cam.
Bloody
otherwise, I don't think there would have been any repercussions of that.
Now you mentioned that, there was that chef that they shot as well, wasn't there? Who gave free food to the cops. He was unarmed as well. And obviously, yeah.
You know what I find shocking? In America, it takes more hours of training to become a barber than it does to become a cop.
Yeah, I heard that as well. And it was a chef, and there was loads of jobs they gave where it takes, a hell of a lot longer than the training you get as a copper.
Mhm.
Just
as they say,
they've started. I mean, the training here for police was quite intense.
Yeah.
Originally, but as the years have gone by, they've had to back it off because they can't get the police on the streets, so they're cutting back on the training. They have to go to little training courses like we do 2 or 3 times a year, maybe for a couple of days, but they don't have that. You're an apprentice copper for 3 years and then you go out and you become a policeman. That doesn't happen anymore. As soon as you sign up, you're on the beat, and it's literally training on the job, and you go to little courses. As far as I'm aware.
The difference is in England, I think the minuscule bit of training they get is, bring out your tasers as a last resort.
Yeah.
In America, it seems that's what they reach for first.
Yeah.
No,
but
right.
the other
It's
good
even worse.
thing
They reach for guns first, don't they?
I was just going to say,
yeah.
our cops don't normally carry guns, so they're not going to shoot you.
Yeah.
No.
Unless you're carrying a firearm and threaten them. That just doesn't happen. So, I mean, oh God, I've had this argument so many times. Should our police be armed? Personally,
I don't think they should, no.
I believe that all of the vehicles should carry firearms, and if required, they have to get government permission to go to the boot of the car, open it up, take the guns out, and use them.
I think, definitely in the capital, I think they should, because you see them because of all the obviously terrorist attacks we've had there in the past couple of years. But
but that's
definitely in the cities.
They're specially trained policemen to do that. That's what they do. They're armed police, and they patrol the city and everywhere else. I agree with that. I don't have an issue with that. But what I'm saying is, if you're in a street in, let's say Cambridge, you're in Cambridge High Street, and there's an armed robbery going on, and there's a police car there, what they have to do is try and deal with it without any weapons whatsoever. They call for backup, and by the time the armed police go and get their guns, get into a car and get down there, it's all over. Whereas if they had a couple of firearms in the back of the car, they could have just run round the back on the radio. We've got a situation. Can we use lethal force? Yes, no. Get the guns out. Bang.
Sure.
I firmly believe that.
Yeah. I think more and more do now in London, especially like you can see it around King's Cross. Like, they have armed police everywhere. And to be honest, it makes me feel uneasy.
It makes me feel safer.
Oh, really? So this is the big debate.
Yeah, I do. I'm quite happy to see a policeman with a gun.
But there was that poor guy who was wrongly identified as being a terrorist or dodgy. They chased him through the tube and shot him in the back, and it turns out he was just a tourist.
But why was he running?
Why was he running away?
I don't know.
Maybe
he had, like, let's say he had a bit of weed in his pocket and he got scared. He didn't deserve to die.
Nobody deserves to die, to be honest. But, if you're told to stop and you start running away, then that to me is indicating that there's something wrong.
But maybe he didn't understand.
There is that as well.
It wasn't his language. I think he was Brazilian. No. Wasn't his first language, so...
I mean, that's a possibility.
He sees his police chasing him with... Yeah.
I think the word stop is universal worldwide. Everybody knows what stop means. I don't care whether you've just landed from planet Mars. Within a couple of days, you're going to understand what the word stop means.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just a gun-happy, rootin' tootin' cowboy. I don't know.
Well, yeah. The argument is we have guns to protect ourselves from other people with guns, essentially.
Absolutely. Yeah, you've got to.
I don't know how many people in America actually have a gun, like, the everyday person, but...
Yeah. I mean, the thing that worries me more than anything else is knife crime.
Yeah.
Ooh,
The amount of young people carrying knives, that is scary. That is really scary.
I hope, that's terrifying.
Now, when I was a kid, you used to be able to carry a sheathed knife on your belt.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had one as a kid when I was 12 in the Boy Scouts. I had a sheathed 6-inch bladed knife on my belt. And I would wear it all the time.
Contact us now on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. Just search for Dr. Den or email us at drdenblack@gmail.com.
But I wouldn't think of taking it out for any other reason than cutting twigs and making stuff and stuff like that. Wouldn't occur to me to pull it and stab somebody with it. God, no.
But then, my granddad gave me one when I was a kid, penknife, and those Swiss Army knives.
Yeah. I think my grandfather had a penknife in his pocket all his life.
Yeah. Literally just for things like that, in case of an emergency or cutting off a branch or something. But then the argument is the same for the argument in America. The kids are carrying knives because other kids are carrying knives.
Yeah, that's our problem here. You've got this gang thing as well, You've got to have a knife because another gang's got a knife and you need to defend yourself. Well, unless you know how to use a knife, you're both going to end up in serious trouble.
Yeah.
Whether you're the guy pulling a knife and starting the fight, it's like, never take a knife to a gunfight. However, you should never take a knife to a knife fight.
No.
You should just run away.
I just hope with this movement now, with the whole, Black Lives Matter movement, that people start to come together as a community and actually put down the knives and balance it with love. Because we're better together. We're no good if we're torn apart. One gang's fighting with another gang. The biggest gang, I believe, in America, the most dangerous gang in America, is the police. Ooh.
Ooh.
That's a bit controversial.
Yeah, I believe it's the police. Not all of them. I mean, there are some good ones. I saw an image yesterday. Because another prediction, this is the total, not prediction, but something I believe, the total end of, human rights and total control, martial law. And Donald Trump's just called that.
Yeah, he has.
He's just called in the army. But I saw a picture where the army refused to fight and they've knelt down with the police in solidarity of the protesters.
In, some ways, I don't blame him for bringing in the army. The protesters are fine. It's the looters which are causing the problem. In my opinion, the looters are, just ruining what it's all about.
That's the thing. And the media will tend to focus on that rather than the hundreds of thousands of people who are protesting peacefully, which is the sad thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tarnishing what it's all about and George's memory, if anything.
Yeah.
But then you need to focus on the people who are protesting peacefully, not those people.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're just chancers. They're just literally taking this as an opportunity to, it's just an opportunity.
Yeah. I've got to be honest, every dealing I've ever had with the police in this country, they've been very respectful and, I've never had an issue with any of them.
No.
Definitely. The ones
their job is to diffuse situations, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we're just a different breed of people. Because we're not gun-ho. We don't,
definitely.
We carry tasers, but they're very rarely used.
Yeah.
It's only in really violent situations. But then in America, they would taser you first and then shoot you anyway.
Oh yeah, shoot first, ask questions later, isn't it? With America.
Exactly.
Well, I saw something earlier and it said, if people are saying, the police are getting flipped off or spoken to like crap and that's when they retaliate. It's like, no. Imagine all these you work in Starbucks and customers are constantly rude to you, and all of a sudden the guy from Starbucks jumps over the counter and starts pummeling you to death and kills you.
Yeah.
Like, people would be shocked. But if a policeman does it, it's not shocking. The people who are supposed to protect you.
Yes.
Again, one rule for them, another for us. They're supposed to, I think the reason it's so shocking, the reason the people are so angry is because they are trusted. They're trusted to look after us.
Yeah. But the other thing, of course, when you talk about Starbucks, is they're one of the only coffee shops in the world that give all police officers free coffee. Did you know that?
No, I
Never
didn't.
knew that.
Yeah, if you're a copper, you can go into Starbucks and you get a free coffee. It's as simple as that. We got a Starbucks just up the road from me here, and it's always, the car park is full of police cars. Because they can go and get free coffee.
That Wild Bean Cafe as well. You usually see them in like service stations.
Yeah.
Give free coffee to police.
The Wild Bean, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, but, you know, that's why you never have any trouble in Starbucks. Because it's it's really weird. I used to work for a company that made false teeth.
So random.
Yeah, I know, it's really random. But the woman who owned it, her name was Starbuck, and she was a relative of the people that started the Starbucks franchise.
Oh, really?
On the coffee, yeah. And she used to make
she's
false
doing
teeth.
all right now.
I used to say to her, "Why are you making false teeth? Why aren't you doing coffee?" And she said, "I'm not a barista. I'm creative." So there you go.
Yeah, makes sense. She's probably sunning herself on a lovely private island somewhere.
Oh
now.
yeah, they made money. Do you know how much a set of false teeth cost?
A lot.
A lot, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you pay £500 for a crown now, don't you? That's
Yeah.
just one tooth. And I can guarantee £400 of that is going to the ceramics company that makes them.
I see.
In actual fact, I've got a really good mate who owns a ceramic company as well.
Well, we know who to come to if we...
And he drives a very nice car. He's got a very big house. And he's doing
Nice.
extremely well. He's going to retire at 40.
That seems like a dream.
You know, he's got 2 years left, I think. I met him
Oh, right.
about 20 years ago.
Oh,
when he
Matt, I
was
don't
quite
even
young.
want to think about ours. If
Yeah,
we'll
I know.
even be able to retire.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So I've got one last bombshell to drop on you.
Oh,
And then
go
I
on
think
then.
it'd be fun to make some predictions about...
Do I need to lie down or get some coffee?
Maybe after. Coffee, because you'll be researching.
Go on.
So the bombshell that hit me yesterday was a report that the police have the police have a suspect they want to question in the disappearance of Madeleine McCann.
Yes,
I saw
I
that on
heard
Twitter
that.
last night.
He's in prison though, isn't he?
He's already in prison. However, they're offering a £20,000 reward to anyone who's got information about this guy's whereabouts. And even in the news report, they said, you may know this person. They may have disclosed something to you 13 years ago. Your loyalties may have changed now.
Can you remember 13 years ago?
I can, yeah, because I was about
You see,
14.
Unfortunately, I've always said, and I did a lot of research into this at one point, that the parents were involved. I'm convinced of that.
Of course, that's what I always think. Because
I
there's so
firmly
much...
believe that they were part of it.
Oh, I
Now
do too.
I'm not so sure.
Well, listen.
With this whole global elite sex trafficking, child trafficking theory, I just think she was simply snatched and put into
But-
the system.
There's lots of things to it though, because all the children had taken like sleeping stuff to keep them asleep,
Yeah.
and someone saw a man walking with a girl, as well apparently, in his arms or whatever, and I just think the parents, well, they didn't get rid of her herself, they got someone else, and said,
Yep.
take them away, we will be out the room, and nothing happened.
Yep.
And look at all
I
the money
believe
they're
that.
making now. Like, all the money they're
Absolutely.
making from it. Still profiting. Surely if that was your child, you would care more about, their memory being preserved and, trying to get on with your family rather than making lots of money from it.
Yeah. It's because they have connections in the right places. They know lawyers, they know journalists, and
Yep.
they know, they've
It'll
got
be
friends in the right
really-
places, really.
Really, really interesting if the guy they investigate comes out and says, yes, this is the whole thing, this is what happened.
I know.
Personally,
Mm.
I believe there's a good chance that by some strange coincidence he will hang himself or be found dead in a fight in the kitchens or something.
Possibly.
That's
Why?
his
Because he's
demise.
going to
I'm
take
predicting
down...
that now.
His confession could take down a lot of people.
Absolutely.
Because there was a known paedophile who lived down the road in Pradaluz.
That's right.
He's the son of Sigmund Freud.
Sigmund Freud, yeah. That's right.
And he must be part of the elite. It all links together, I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Anyway, my mum thinks that she's still alive and she could potentially just pop up and
I mean,
there is
anything.
expose
It's 2020. Anything could happen.
Exact. That would. I would just. I don't even know what I'd do. I think
But
I'd
would
just
she
collapse.
remember it?
I don't.
No,
That's the thing.
probably not.
No, she won't remember it because if you're kidnapped at like that age and brought up, you won't really. You'll just think you've grown up in that family. That's if she's still alive. I think that she's
don't.
dead.
A big mistake the family made, if ever, was plastering her face all over the
Oh,
newspaper.
definitely.
Because if she
Yeah.
was trafficked, then she's too. Well, the whole world was looking for her. But I think where people go wrong is that because there's been loads of sightings of supposedly of her, but they're looking for a little girl, little
not
blonde
little
girl.
anymore.
She, if she's alive, she'd be 16 now. So she'd be unrecognisable to most people. Who knows? She could make an appearance, expose the whole thing,
Yep.
become the new Messiah. Who knows? That's it.
Crazy.
So that came out yesterday. I don't know what else is gonna appear. The thing I predict that will happen is someone. This is going on biblical prophecies.
Good.
Someone will reveal themselves as the new Messiah. That is what I predict will happen in the next coming months.
Say that again.
Someone will come out in the public and say, "I am the new Messiah."
I think I've seen that movie before. I know how it ends.
So do
What?
I.
What?
You
What
know,
movie
they
is
did-
that?
What was it?
Oh,
Monty
Monty Python.
Monty Python, yeah, that's the one. Yeah, I know
No,
how
it
that
was
one's
the
going to
Eddie
end.
Murphy film, wasn't it?
Oh. That's what's next. With all the war and destruction and craziness going in the world, someone's going to pop up and claim to be the new Messiah here to heal the world and unite the people and blah, blah, blah.
I wonder what the money's like.
But Dan, don't get any ideas. But then the
could be the
Bible
new
says the Bible warns people to look out for false prophets, don't
Yes. All the
they?
time.
So that's
We've
it.
had a few of those.
I saw a video. I didn't watch the video. I've seen a clip of it, and it's this guy, English guy, claiming he's a relative of King George III or something, and he's the rightful heir to the throne.
There's always someone
Yeah.
somewhere.
So it
Yeah,
could
there
be
is always
him.
someone.
But all we know at the minute is apparently Donald Trump's hiding in a bunker somewhere. Apparently the Queen's hiding in a bunker somewhere.
Don't blame her.
And
Can't blame her.
Exactly.
the lights in the White House were turned
old
off for the
Marge.
first time ever, which Simpsons predicted.
Oh.
Have you seen that? When the lights were turned off, that was predicted in Simpsons.
Was it?
So were the riots. So was Donald Trump dying. So we'll see where this goes.
That's interesting.
I can
see
imagine if
Trump
Donald...
died.
Yeah, because I can't imagine... If this does come out about the crimes he's supposedly committed, I can't see him going to jail.
No,
I think he'll... Yeah, you know.
it's interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
So
But
predictions, where do you think... Oh, sorry, Matthew.
I'd say, but then would it be a good thing or a bad thing? Because someone even worse might take over.
Well, this is the thing. I think there's a massive sort of revolution happening at the minute. Out with the old, in with the new. But I think this is, if there is a global elite beyond Trump and his merry men, Are they just sitting back and watching us all destroy ourselves, watching government destroy themselves, so then they can swoop in with their new world order? And will the new world order be better or worse than what we have now?
Don't know.
I'll let you sit on that one.
All right. Okay. Predictions. I think that this year there will be another peak around about October time for coronavirus, and I think it'll be worse the second time around, which it's proved to be in most pandemics. But I think it will be solved and sorted a lot quicker. And hopefully we will have some sort of vaccination against it. That's it. The other thing is that Trump won't win the election in November, which will be a shock. I think most people believe he's going to walk it, but I'm not so sure.
I don't think so. I
Not
think he's
now
run
with
his
all this
course.
going on.
I think he's been a complete idiot, and he's just digging holes all the time. I think the Senate will change completely. I think that will be... it won't be Republican, it will be Democratic next time round. And things will change. I firmly believe that. I think America will be a better place for it.
I hope so.
But here, I think Boris will go from strength to strength. We'll get a deal that suits us. This country will thrive, and we will be the envy of every single country in the EU. You watch. That's my prediction.
Yeah, again, let's hope so. Matt, do you have any predictions?
I reckon that this is a prediction, but with all that's been going on this year, I reckon that there will be some kind of big mystery event, like a big ship or UFO or something sighted in the sky. Like, you never know what's going on.
That'd be
So I reckon, even if it's something by, like, the FBI, something that people haven't, there'll be a mass sighting of something, I reckon.
Maybe to act as a distraction from everything. Yeah. I kind of believe the same as you. There's going to be one more huge event.
There's got to be.
And it could be the new Messiah. It could be...
I'm here. Do you call? What was it?
It could be a UFO or aliens. Because it's sort of like a distraction from our world problems.
Yeah.
I'm also predicting something to happen with North Korea as well.
Oh, really?
They've been silent ever since Kim Jong-un supposedly, died, but, it's not. So I reckon that something's going to come out from North Korea that's going to either trigger America or, something's going to happen.
That's one thing I don't
I think China's going to declare war on America.
Do you think?
Just finish them off.
I don't think... Well, are you talking about a physical war, or are you talking about an economic war?
Probably economic.
Okay.
Just to finish them off. But, yeah. I do think I'm really hoping aliens.
Yeah, that'd be great.
We'll be the first on the scene.
just saying, guys, enough's enough. Like,
Speaking of aliens, just quickly before we depart, I think, Matt, you and I should meet up over the fens when this coronavirus thing is all sorted and do a nighttime vigil.
Oh,
somewhere.
Definitely. That'd be great.
And see what we can capture. You up for that, Scarlett?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah? So we're just... Because the fens are a great place. There's no light anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
I've just got myself infrared night vision camera.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
So be able to record anything as well. So, yeah. Sounds cool.
Yeah, it sounds good
like
to
a
me.
plan.
What's your parting shot, Scarlett? Anything?
Stay tuned. ...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Watch this space. And don't sit... No, my parting thing is don't sit indoors and listen to the news, and don't just consume yourself with social media, because there's a lot of dramatic and heavy stuff going on at the minute. And to all the listeners, like, it can get a bit much. Make sure you take a break, go for a walk, read a book, watch something, a Disney program that you like, something light-hearted, because too much of it's not healthy.
No. The good thing is, Sky have just released 2 new channels, haven't they? There's a documentary one and there's something else. Can't remember. But I watched the documentary one last night about John Wayne. It was only an hour long, but I learnt more in the hour than I have done the last 40 years about him. I used to love him in westerns, but having watched this documentary last night, that was an eye-opener again. So yeah, their documentary channel is looking to be a winner. So like Scarlett says, don't go on social media. Watch a documentary, a good one.
Definitely.
And get your brain working. And if you get anything interesting, contact us. Let us know.
Yeah,
That's
we're
the way
always
to
up
do it.
for subjects. Maybe
Absolutely.
the next show should be about Project Bluebeam.
Blue Bean?
Bluebeam.
What's Blue Bean?
Project Bluebeam.
We'll
Look
find
it up.
out next week.
Okay, so it's
Look
Project
it up.
Blue Bean next week.
Blue beam, like a beam of light.
Laser beam.
That thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. That sounds like
Because
a
it will
plan.
tie in quite nicely with our predictions.
Well, the aliens are coming.
Yeah. Or are they?
Okay. The other recommendation I've got for all of you is the Skinwalker Ranch program that's on the documentary at the moment.
That's really
I've
good.
seen that. It's brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, that is, again, really, really interesting. So if anybody else out there, listeners, go and watch it. It's worth the hour every week. Okay,
Yeah.
I think we're going to wrap it up here, guys.
Just one
Yep.
more documentary. So I'm not a crazy loop. Fruit Loop. It's called Out of the Shadows 2020 documentary. It's on Netflix. It explains everything I talk about, the global elite, mind control, population control, all in a nutshell.
Okay.
So go educate yourself
Okay.
and join in the discussion.
Well. Right, Matt, Scarlett, thank you once again. Great show. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
No worries.
Completely scrambled my brain.
All right, I need to lie down now.
Well,
Definitely.
you can't because I think, oh no, you don't have to. I've got a meeting to join. You probably heard the alarm going off when a certain member of staff was calling me. So I've got to go to a
All right,
meeting now.
Such fun.
Anyway, guys, thank you again for everything. Look forward to next week. Really am. Take care. Be safe. See you next week.
See
Bye.
you next
See ya.
week. Bye.
New podcasts every Thursday on www.drdendoes.drdendoes.co.uk. Use our social media accounts and email to tell us your paranormal stories and your conspiracy theories.